Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus 5 Day Challenge, and today we have Goosebumps, The Vanishing, I've Been Tricked. This is treated like the other season, as in season 2 of the same series of the Goosebumps that came out a number of years ago, 2023. It's an anthology, of course, but the stories are all connected, at least by season. So it gets listed on Disney Plus as a separate entity, but it's still the same series. This season, however, does star David Schwimmer as the dad. Well, he was a dad in Friends too, but eventually. This is 2025. It's a brand new season, and it's just one season. So I'm treating it like I'm doing it correctly. Then I am doing it correctly. Again, they're self-contained. If you don't know what Goosebumps is, it's a series of anthology horror stories for kids. I mean, they're scary, but it doesn't lean hard on blood and guts, or although there is a good bit of body horror in this series. Again, I've only watched a few episodes of the first season. I don't know, the other series. I've only watched a few, if only one, and it feels similar. Like there was a basement you're also wasn't supposed to go into in that one as well. This one is The Vanishing. It's literally the first 2 episodes are called Stay Out of the Basement Part 1 and Part 2. I watched the first 2 episodes thinking, okay, that's pretty self-contained, but no. Each of these little episodes, which there are, how many? Come on. There's 8. And they do connect. They keep connecting, and I should have looked at the thumbnails because I think the last thumbnail does include some of the same characters we've met in the first 2 episodes. So yeah, it all works together. I think I'm getting spoiled for things just by looking at IMDb. Be careful of that. And then that's part of the whole thing, because you want to be surprised by the twists and turns. So yeah, this is horror that is it's R.L. Stine, who created the book series, is known for making scary stuff for that audience. And it's not in any way to demean the quality of the horror at all. In fact, there's a number of things in here that feel very Stephen King, which is not for kids. But yeah, I mean, I've known a lot of kids who've actually grown up with Stephen King as much as R.L. Stine. But there's a special place in their heart for this type of horror. It's the training ground for appreciating other types of horror. And it doesn't just stick with, oh, there's a boogeyman or there's a monster or those kind of things. It can pretty much go almost any direction you can imagine. And I was quite surprised at what the first 2 episodes featured about staying out of the basement. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but I'll give you an idea of the framework of this season as it starts. David Schwimmer lives, I guess, in Brooklyn, near Brooklyn, close enough to Brooklyn that he probably doesn't pay insane amounts of money just to live there. His son and daughter, who are twins, come to stay with him. I think he got divorced. So yeah, so they're coming to stay with him for the summer, I guess. And they're not too thrilled with it. I think if they were going to Brooklyn proper, they'd be really thrilled with it, because just of all the culture and parties and social options, let's just say, that you'd find in Brooklyn. But they've come to stay with Dad, and Dad's a real, let's just say, he's very strict when it comes to providing rules for them. But he really only has one big rule, and it's stay out of the basement. And we learn very quickly why. He even takes them down there just to satisfy their curiosity, so they know this is not something you want to know about. It's not like, oh, I keep that locked because there's a boogeyman that I am secretly keeping down there. No. Yet. Well, that's not really. But the kids, of course, start going out. They used to live in that area for a time when they were younger, and they're meeting up with old friends. And there's a little bit of tension, some boyfriend girlfriend things, first kiss kind of things that some of them are remembering, and some of them just don't get along that well. New boyfriends, new girlfriends, and this first 2 episodes mainly deals with what goes on with the son and the father. The daughter, she has an arc starting, I believe, in the next few episodes, and it all comes together from what I can tell. What the left turn it takes for episode 3 is wow. I can make so many references to other horror films that would spoil too many things. But yeah, there are let's say no. I can't do it. I don't want to ruin it for you if you haven't watched it yet. And I do recommend this. This is for people who might be a little bit more squeamish when it comes to some of the more gruesome horror stuff that's out there, in Insidious or Annabelle or all those things that are in the theaters that are meant to be rated R type things. This is not rated R by any means. But it still doesn't mean it isn't creepy, and it doesn't get under your skin. Okay, that's a spoiler, but it does get under your skin a little bit, and yeah, that's the body horror part of it for me. It's just like you start getting a little twitchy after even just the first episode. So, but yeah, be aware that there's an element in this that is just in the first 2 episodes. And then it shifts slightly, and then it probably changes again as we go on into the season. So I do recommend this. I'm not a big horror guy. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need to see blood and guts and just killers and people with hacksaws and chainsaws and everything else just chopping people up. That's just not my thing. It's a psychological horror to a certain degree, but it's also, like I said, some physical stuff. But you never get blood gushing everywhere. So I think it's definitely not for the little kids, but if you're looking at some late tweens, early teens kind of things, they could really get into this kind of thing. It would show that you're not so too protective. Let them have a few of their little nightmares. If your kid is twitchy about horror already, about just the slightest thing, yeah, definitely not for them. But for some of the kids who've seen their share, it's not a bad thing. And yeah, I mean, they get to be real kids. There's real kids featured in this as teenagers, I should say, and they have their normal teenage problems. But when you put the supernatural into it, or the super science into it, it gets real crazy. And there is a flashback that goes all the way to, I think, the 80s or early 90s. Yeah, and that connects this whole thing. Again, I can't remember. I haven't watched the entire series from the first season or the previous show or whatever, so I don't know if these are connected in any way other than the whole basement thing. Maybe there's just a lot of really off-putting basements out there, or it's just they're just being fun and poking at their last season. I have no idea. Worth checking out, and I don't think it'll give you too many nightmares, even as adults. So let's pick tomorrow's episode. 16. We had something real close to that recently. Oh, okay. We got a short. We haven't had a short in a while. But this is a classic. This is, I'm going to start preaching to you tomorrow about watching the classics, but we'll get that tomorrow. We're going to see Barnyard Olympics from 1932. As compared to the other Olympics around that time, which were held in a certain Germanic country around that time. Barnyard Olympics from 1932 is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.